The icy afternoon wind blew harshly between the buildings as Daniel Herrera, a 42-year-old man, slowly drove down the avenue in his family car. His hands were tense on the steering wheel and his eyes reddened from exhaustion. It had only been 6 months since he had lost his wife, Clara, after a long battle with cancer. Since then, each day felt heavier than the previous one. He worked, took care of his 8-year-old daughter, Sophia, and tried to maintain a life that no longer felt like his own. That day he was returning from work, planning to pick up Sophia from her art class. He wasn't in a hurry, but neither did he want to interact with anyone. His world had shrunk to necessary routines and endless silences. However, something on the roadside caught his attention. 2 elderly people sitting at a bus stop, huddled from the cold, holding hands as if sharing the little warmth they had left. Daniel slowed down. The couple seemed unusual. They didn't look like they were waiting for a bus, at least not with the usual patience of someone who knows it will eventually arrive. They looked lost, as if they didn't really know where they were going. The woman, her white hair tied in a simple bun, looked around with a confused expression. The man, perhaps around 75, wore an old coat and held a small suitcase on his lap. His sad eyes drifted toward the road, meeting Daniel's for an instant. That brief exchange of looks stirred something unexpected in the widower's heart, a pull, an intuition, that compelled him to stop the car. He pulled over, took a deep breath, and got out. "Good afternoon," he greeted cautiously as he approached. "Are you all right? Do you need help?" The woman looked at him as if it took her a few seconds to understand the question. "Help? Yes, I think so," she murmured. The man gently squeezed his wife's hand and replied, "Young man, forgive us. We've been here for hours. The bus doesn't pass and I think we got on the wrong bus stop. We're trying to get back home, but we don't remember the exact number." Daniel frowned. That "we don't remember" troubled him. "Do you have any documents with you? Any emergency phone number?" he asked softly. The elderly man shook his head. "We left this morning for a walk. My wife insisted on visiting the plaza where we used to stroll, but something happened. She got disoriented, then I did too, and we ended up here," he admitted with embarrassment. Daniel noticed their trembling hands. The woman looked even more lost. Then he saw something. She was wearing a medical bracelet. He leaned in and discreetly read it. "Alzheimer's intermediate stage. Emergency contact, Emilia Torres' daughter." Daniel's heart tightened. The word daughter hit him. He thought of Sophia. He thought of Clara, who always said, "One day, it may be us who need someone to lend a hand." He breathed deeply and made a decision. "Let me take you somewhere warm. We can call your daughter together," he offered gently. "It's not safe for you to stay out here." The couple exchanged an unsure look, but the cold was biting. Finally, the man nodded. "Thank you, truly. My name is Ernesto. This is my wife, Matilde." Daniel helped them into the car and turned on the heater. On the way to a nearby cafe, Matilde watched everything as if seeing it for the first time. Sometimes she murmured incomplete phrases. Other times she smiled for no reason. Ernesto sighed now and then, a mix of fatigue and sorrow. Once inside the cafe, Daniel ordered hot chocolate for the 3 of them and dialed the emergency number on the bracelet. A woman answered almost immediately. "Hello, yes, who is this?" Her voice sounded frantic. "Good afternoon. Are you Emilia Torres? I found 2 people on the street. I believe they are your parents," Daniel explained. The woman gasped sharply. "Oh my God, my parents. I've been looking for them since this morning. I can't thank you enough. Can you send me your location? I'm on my way." Daniel did so and hung up. He approached Ernesto and Matilde, who were sipping their drinks. "Your daughter is coming," he informed them. Ernesto closed his eyes in relief. "You don't know how ashamed I am," he muttered. "I used to guide everything. Now, my mind fails me sometimes, but not as much as it fails my wife." Daniel didn't answer immediately. He sat beside him. "There's no shame in this. Love is also this," he murmured. Ernesto looked at him, tears gathering. "Young man, you speak like someone who has loved deeply." Daniel swallowed hard. He didn't usually talk about Clara with strangers, but something in the old man invited him to open up. "I lost my wife 6 months ago," he confessed. "Sometimes it feels like half my life left with her." Ernesto pressed his lips together, moved. "My boy, then you understand the weight of being the one left behind." They sat quietly for a moment, sharing a grief that needed no words. 20 minutes later, the cafe door swung open and a woman about 35, her face streaked with tears, rushed toward them. "Mom, Dad," she cried, embracing them. Ernesto hugged her with difficulty. Matilde appeared confused. "And who are you?" the elderly woman asked innocently. The daughter swallowed her tears and touched her face. "I'm Emilia, Mom, your daughter," she said softly. Matilde smiled faintly. "You have beautiful eyes," she whispered, not recognizing her. Emilia broke down in tears. Daniel looked away to respect her pain. After a few minutes, she approached him. "I don't know how to thank you. My parents must have gone out while I was working. I thought they were home. When I came back, they were gone." Daniel shook his head. "You don't need to thank me. Anyone in my place would have helped." But Emilia looked at him intensely. "No, not anyone. Many people passed that bus stop and didn't stop," she said firmly. "You did." Daniel felt uncomfortable with the praise, but managed a shy smile. "What are you planning to do now?" he asked. Emilia wiped her tears and explained, "I'm thinking of having them move in with me, but I work all day and I don't want to separate them or take my mom to a care facility. I don't know what to do." Daniel looked at the couple. Matilda was staring out the window like a curious child. Ernesto watched her with naught but unbreakable devotion. Then the idea simply came. Clara would have said the same thing. "If you ever need help, I live nearby. I spend a lot of time at home since I work from my computer. If there's a day you can't be with them, you can let me know. It's no burden. My daughter, Sophia, adores elderly people." Emilia looked surprised, almost disbelieving. "Would you really do that for us? You barely know us." Daniel smiled for the first time in a long time. "Kindness is the only thing that keeps us standing when we've lost everything," he said sincerely. The woman cried again, this time from relief. In the following weeks, something unexpected began to form. Emilia brought her parents to Daniel's home whenever she had impossible shifts. Sophia quickly became attached to Matilda, treating her with angelic patience. Ernesto became a fatherly figure to Daniel. They talked for hours in the afternoons, shared old stories and advice. The house no longer felt empty. Daniel noticed that Emilia was kind, hard-working, generous. And although he wasn't looking for anything, the friendship grew naturally. She, grateful and trusting, found in him a support she had rarely received. One day, while Matilda napped on the sofa and Ernesto read a newspaper, Emilia approached Daniel in the kitchen. "Sometimes I think the universe put my family in your path," she said quietly. Daniel smiled. "I think it was my wife," he replied tenderly. "She always helped everyone. I believe she left me one last lesson." Emilia looked into his eyes. "And you're honoring her?" They stayed silent, not uncomfortable, but filled with a new, warm feeling. Over time, Daniel realized that the impulsive decision he had made to stop in front of a bus stop had changed not only the old couple's lives, but his own as well. He had regained something he thought was dead, hope. He didn't know what the future would bring, but he understood a truth Clara always repeated: doing good is never lost, it always comes back. And this time it came back in the form of companionship, laughter, affection, and a new chance to build a different, unexpected, but deeply human family.